Hey, what's up, guys? This is Fat Stogies. I have my Etek 3 here. I've had this gun since it came out. I don't know how many years ago. It's been an amazing gun, and just now it gave me a small issue, a solenoid leak. And I'm making this video because I couldn't find many videos on YouTube regarding this issue and how to fix it. So hopefully it helps someone out. So the tank is on. Let me turn it on so you see what it sounds like. Can you hear that? That's the solenoid in there leaking. This gun still shoots. The first thing you should do if this is the issue and your gun still shoots is check the LPR piston. You remove it, remove the spring. There's another one in there. Usually falls off. There we go. So as you can see, the seat is busted. It's not supposed to have that little dent in there. You can see. And you might also want to check the O-ring, make sure it's looking good. If it's not this, then it might be this O-ring, but this is a new piston. As you can see, the seat is complete. This is the busted one. This is a new one. I greased it up with some of this hater sauce over here prior to recording the video, so I'm just gonna put it back together. All right, let's air it up. There you go. It's aired up. No more leak. Now, if your gun is still leaking from the solenoid, it's still functional, then you might want to check the LPR body, which is this piece in here. So to get to the LPR body, you remove this piece right here, the macro line, and the inline regulator. And you see a screw in there for an Allen key. So using the Allen key, you unscrew it. You hold this in because there's a spring that pops it off. So you just remove the screw, the LPR body comes out, and there's the 3 O-rings in there. Make sure they're not broken or anything, and grease it up, put it back together. If this is not the issue, then you gotta break down the solenoid itself, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All the tools you'll need are the ones that come with the Etek, these Allen keys, and I don't know if you can see it, like a little flathead and a little Phillips screwdriver to unscrew the solenoid itself. Screws off on both sides. I remove the grips. I'll remove the battery that's in here. Remove the screw here and the screw back here. You want to disconnect these two. There you go. You want to disconnect these 2 plugs here. One is for the solenoid. The other's for the eyes. And that's the solenoid in there. Carefully separate both. Oh, I forgot the macro. There you go. All right. So that's the solenoid right there. And it leaks from this little hole right there. And the reason it leaks from there is to avoid any internal damage from being over pressurized, from having a broken piston there, or any other O-ring that's inside. So to remove this, you have to remove these two screws right there. When you separate this from the body, the solenoid from the body, you see a little gasket there. And it's kind of hard to see because it's all black, but let me get it out. There you go. You see this little gasket? Make sure that's not damaged, but keep it aside. Pop out the screws. So this is a solenoid. So if your gun is still leaking, despite the LPR piston being in good shape, then the little valve in here that has a couple O-rings might have dirt and need to be cleaned. So to open this up, you remove this little retainer and this little retainer. Using this little flathead screwdriver, you just push it up. Comes right off. And this comes in half. That's the piston you want to get out of there, or not piston, well, whatever valve that's called. Yeah. So you want to get this out. And remember that when you separate this gray piece from here, this side you're looking at has a little divot in there, just one little divot. So you remove this side. This side has a small one. This side has a big one. The big one faces this side, the end cap. So you just push that out. Push it out. I had previously cleaned it, so I know this isn't damaged, but that's just how you open this up. Clean it up, make sure that none of these O-rings are busted, make sure there's no dirt. Clean it up in there with the Q-tip, grease it up. All right, so once you grease up the valve and the inside of the solenoid, it's time to put it back together. So on the bottom, you're gonna see a little sticker with letters A and B. A is gonna face the barrel, B is the back. So once you got the back piece on the B side, it's time to put in the little valve. Remember that the side with the big divot goes in first. I greased it up. Just push it in. There you go. Grease up the outside. I'm also going to grease up that little plunger in there. Just pop it out. So once you put the valve back in there, this faces up towards the gun. The wires face down. Just put this back together and hold it together. You get the little retainer clips that I had taken off previously and slide them back in. That's one. Turn it over. And now time to screw this back on. So you get the gun. You see that top piece, this little O-ring there. There's no way you can put it wrong, because it's molded to go in only one way, which is like this. You can see that. You could throw some grease on there. It helps this little gasket stick to the body. There you go. It's in there. And you just clean the top of this, of course, and just set it back on and put the little 2 screws back on. Don't want to over tighten these little screws. All right, now to put everything back together. All right, so the Etek 3 is put back together now. Hopefully this video helped someone out there that was having the same issue as I did. Check the LPR piston first, make sure the O-ring isn't broken, make sure the piston seat is not broken. Clean the solenoid, the spool inside, as I showed you. And yeah, this is the first issue I've had with this gun, and I've had this gun since it came out, the Etek 3. It's a very good gun. If anyone's considering buying a gun that wants to get into the sport of paintball, you won't be disappointed with an Etek. You can find this cheap online. Very good gun. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this helps someone out there. Bye-bye.